What's up, everybody? You're watching B-Boy 45, the Hospital Zone TV and radio station. It's a wonderful Thursday morning. It's always a wonderful Thursday morning in the Seacrest studio, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's even more wonderful because we got our buddy Maya. Maya, are you there, my friend?
Yeah.
Yes,
Hi.
you're there. And why are you happy this wonderful Thursday morning?
Because Leslie Odom Jr. is calling in.
We got Leslie Odom Jr. That's awesome. Oh, my gosh. I am so excited, Maya, to hear your questions. So dive right in, my friend. Go for it.
So who or what inspired you to be a musician and an actor?
So many. I was inspired by so many, but I have to say that maybe one of my greatest influences was Billy Porter, who's very, very famous now. When I met Billy, he was at a low point in his life. He came back to Carnegie Mellon University, where I was a student, and he taught an 11-week course. And Billy had already changed my life because there's a show called Grease. You must know it. Do you know it, Maya? Do you know the show Grease?
Yeah.
If you go listen to Billy's version of Beauty School Dropout in the Broadway revival of Grease, I heard that when I got to Carnegie Mellon University, and it blew my mind. I'll tell you why, because I had never thought, I never thought that I could sing this music like myself, that I could enter into the world of theater and performing arts exactly as I am. Now, I can't sing like Billy, but I recognized that he was doing something different. He was taking a show like Grease and he was singing it exactly as he was. So when Billy came to Carnegie to teach, he was already a hero of mine. I revered him so he was really able to help me and help me find my way, and set me on a path to becoming the best version of myself that I could possibly be.
Oh, cool. So you have 4 amazing albums out. What is your songwriting process like?
Oh, good question. I journal often. Our phones have made it even easier to just log our thoughts and impressions as the world makes impressions on us. And, I'll probably jot a little something down after this, time with you. I mean, it's just, I'm always just jotting things down, phrases, even a word. Oh, I haven't heard that word in a while. And that I kind of want to think about that word a little bit. I remember, so on the latest album, the Christmas album that just came out, there's a song called Heaven and Earth that is probably the most personal song on the record, maybe the most personal song I've ever written. But it's about what it felt like being in the delivery room for the birth of my daughter, and how humbling it is to be this far away from a miracle. There is no equivalent for a man. Like, you can hear my little girl, I'm sure, in the background right now. But the grace and the pain, the strength that a woman shows in childbirth is like nothing I've ever seen. And it was just the most humbling, life-changing experience to be in the room. And so I wrote a song about it. And it really kind of I was thinking about Joseph too, in that manger, and kind of like how every dad is Joseph in some way. Anyway, what I had written down in my journal to get me to that song was, I was thinking about this is a very long answer to your beautiful, simple question, but I wrote down, I held the young woman, I hold you now, I'll hold the old woman. And that led to this song that I love so much. But it's about how, when in these long-term relationships, I was thinking about my wife. We've been together for 12 years, and I got with her when she was like a girl. She was barely 20 years old. And I continue to hold her. And even when she's an old lady, like the girl is present, the woman is present, and the old lady is present. We hold our histories when we hold on to each other. That's my long answer.
I love that. So I love your song Cold. What inspired you to write? What inspired this song?
Well, I wanted that Mr. album. That was my first album of all original music. Most people, if they know me at all, they know me as a singer, an interpreter of other people's words and melodies, whether it's Broadway stuff or nationwide jingles or Christmas songs. So I knew in order to if I wanted to take the next step as an artist, I had to step out on faith and challenge myself to develop my voice further. So I want Mr. needed to be an introduction. It needed to be an introduction to all of me. I wanted it to be, if you put that album on, you would have a better sense, like him or dislike him, you would have a really good sense of who that artist is. I know what I'm going to get when I sign up to go to one of his shows, when I buy his stuff. So I just really tried to represent, I wanted it to be like a mixtape of all the music that has left impressions on me. And that was my attempt. That was our attempt to write like a Phil Collins song or just one of those like 80s hair band songs. That was our attempt to write an 80s hair band anthem, because I grew up in the 80s. I was a child of the 80s. And so Journey and, The Outfield, there were these 80s rock bands that had an impression that left a major impression on me too.
Oh, cool. How did the collaboration with Sia come about?
Well, like you, Cold was Sia's favorite song on the record. And I met Sia backstage at Hamilton, and I'm a part of Sia's film that she just directed. She wrote and directed. And so we've been friends for a few years. And I sent her the record and I said, listen, if you'd ever want to jump on a remix of something, or if, or at the very least, you see where I'm going creatively, maybe next album we can write together. We can make something. And I got word back that she was willing to hop on a remix of Cold. And so we had Jesse Shatkin who produced Chandelier for Sia. So they just expanded our universe, and they made it big and exciting and pop. They heard the raw materials of that song, which is what we put on Mr. Great melody. I think really simple but impactful lyric, and Sia just does what Sia does. She did what Sia does. She made it big and ready for the stadiums.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Also, just really quick aside, I love your sweatshirt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My sister and I got to vote for the first time this year, so we were very excited. So you played Aaron Burr in Hamilton, and I am obsessed with Hamilton, and I love the soundtrack.
Thank you for not saying, pardon me, are you Aaron Burr, sir? Thank you for restraining yourself.
Yes.
I'm very impressed.
It was hard. I have this Broadway bracelet that I have Hamilton on it, and I have my Hamilton tank top on right now, so.
Thank you.
Yeah. So did you have a favorite song to perform?
In Hamilton?
Yeah.
Wait For It was my favorite. And it was a really tricky thing about that song because I had friends that came to see the show early on, and they were like, man, Leslie, I wish you had a big song in the show. Everybody gets, they get these big numbers. This is off Broadway, of course, and, Burr, he doesn't really have a big number. And, it was because, early on that show it was bowling people over, and it was hard for people to get past a song like My Shot. It was hard for them to get past a song like Satisfied. You hear those songs for the first time, especially in a theater, you might be sitting there trying to rack your brain for the next half hour about what you just saw. But I knew that I trusted Maya that like once the album came out, once the cast album came out, because Wait For It is not a big show-stopping number. That's not what it is. It's contemplative, and it's introspective, and it's but it's tense. But that melody and that lyric was, when I heard it for the first time, I swear to you, I thought, because I saw the first reading of the Hamilton mixtape that they ever did in Poughkeepsie, New York, of all places, and when the actor playing Burr sang Wait For It, I remember thinking to myself, well, whomever gets to sing that song 8 shows a week is going to be a very lucky actor. And I was right. Like, that song continues to follow me. It really, I think Time has done really wonderful things for that song. Netflix just did that, the documentary about Lynn and Alex, the making, the creation of that song. It's a powerful song. It sticks to your ribs.
Cool. Yeah, I love that song.
What's your favorite though?
I don't know. That's hard.
Come on, you asked me.
Okay. I don't know. I love Wait For It, and then I love all of Jonathan Groff's songs. So yeah, I love all of them though. It's very hard to pick. So
I remember when I was so sad. Listen, it all turned out the way it was supposed to, but originally the actor playing, if you can believe this, imagine this, the actor playing Hercules Mulligan also played the king. The way the show was originally conceived, and like that was so fun too. That was amazing too. Anyway.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. My tank top it's like a little like animated picture of King George, and it says "Awesome, wow."
It's a great damn song. So memorable, and it's a memorable melody with a brilliant lyric, like only Lin-Manuel can do. He's a special talent.
Yeah. What was the best part of being in such a groundbreaking musical?
What was the best part? I'll tell you the best part was working with that extraordinary group of people. All of us have been able to achieve some success. Hair on my shirt. Achieve some success on our own in these solo ventures post Hamilton, but I think Time is going to the legacy will really be that we were a part of a championship team. We were all a part of a championship team because Daveed Diggs, Lin-Manuel, Philippa Sue, Renee Elise Goldsberry, Anthony Ramos, Jasmine C. Fitzjones. I mean, it's just the list goes on and on of extraordinary singular talents that were a part of this show. That was the best part.
So you made your Broadway debut at 17 in Rent.
That's right.
Which I'm also obsessed with that musical. What was it like to be on Broadway at such a young age?
It felt like I'd won a fan contest. I felt about Rent the way so many young people feel about Hamilton. I knew all the words, I knew all the cast members' names, and it really changed my life. Rent brought a generation of people to the theater, Lynn included. The way I anticipate Hamilton will be responsible for a generation of new blood, of new talent finding their way to the theater and trying to duplicate that success, and also trying to top the success of Hamilton, which is a beautiful thing. So yeah, it felt like I'd won a fan contest, is all I can say. I went from sitting in the audience and being on the receiving end of all that beauty to it felt like I blinked and I was on stage in the costume with the microphone, being a part of doling it out. It was trippy and wonderful and changed my life.
Cool. What is the best part about live theater?
The best part about live theater. The best part about live theater. I don't know if, so I believe that, this thing that I do and the life that I live, they're two separate things, like me and my life, my personal relationships, me when I'm not performing, my marriage, my relationship with my child, my friendships, there's that, relationship with my parents, siblings, there's that. And then there's this work that I do. Now, there are things there are issues, there are things that I'm working out all the time in both of those things. Vulnerability, courage, honesty, what virtuous things, things that you as you look at yourself and you want to do the work, things that you can work on. And I believe that the issues in your life affect your work, and the issues, vice versa. And as you work on them, if you become more courageous on stage, you can become more courageous in your life. If you become more loving, more giving in your life, you can become more loving and giving on stage. So, in that way, this related way, what was your question? I got distracted because what was the
what is the best part about live theater?
Theater. Yes. So, in that way, I've brought this into my life, but live theater, there's almost no moment in my life where I'm more present in the moment than live theater. I can, that nothing can throw me, because I'm there. I'm just there. I'm present. I'm taking in my surroundings, and it's a wonderful feeling. It's what being alive is supposed to feel like. So much of our lives we spend either looking back or looking forward. You know what I'm saying, Maya? We're looking at the past or we're looking toward the future, when there's so much beauty and good stuff in the present moment. There's so many gifts in the present moment, and live theater makes me present. I'm trying to, and I'm always fighting for that in my actual life, not just on stage. But that is my favorite part about being on stage, is that I'm always present.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I since quarantine has started, I've always loved the Hamilton soundtrack since it came out, and Dear Evan Hansen, but quarantine. I've started to listen to a bunch of other Broadway soundtracks too, so I have a whole playlist that's all Broadway. Sorry, what?
I said that's amazing.
Oh. Thanks. Yeah. I was joking with my mom. I was like, this is why I love quarantine. I can discover music I haven't heard before, and just I get to talk to you. So
yeah, it has been good for that. It's, risen above the adversity as much as we can, and we've used the time. You know, it's not ideal. There's nothing about this year that has been ideal, but I too have used the time to fill in gaps of my knowledge and to expose my daughter to me. Bath time was music time for her. That's when I was playing her Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday and John Coltrane, you know, just like laying that foundation for her of just some rich music stuff that I just wouldn't have otherwise had the time to do.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. So you've been on Broadway and in TV shows and movies. Of all the characters you've played, have you had a favorite?
Oh, my favorite is probably the latest movie that I just did. I just did a movie with Regina King, comes out very soon. It's called One Night in Miami, and I play Sam Cooke in this movie. And I never would have thought that I would be the one who should be playing Sam Cooke. That was like not even a dream role, because I just thought there would be someone better suited than I. But thank God Regina saw potential in me, and she gave me this opportunity, and I'm very proud of this movie. So Sam Cooke is my favorite.
So what inspired you to write your book, Failing Up?
The publishers came to me and they asked me they saw that I had been doing work with college students and high school kids for years and years. And they said, what if you wrote a book in the style of a commencement address? If you were the graduation speaker for a class, what might you say? And that really set me free. And so I knew that I could offer something of value in the same way that Billy had offered value to me. I just tried to do that for a new class of kids.
Oh, cool. I just have a few more questions for you.
I've been rattling on and on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. It's been really fun to hear all your answers. And so is there a line from a song, movie, or book that's had a big impact on you?
Oh, I'm sure there is. But my favorite quote, and you know, it's so sad. I know that I read this quote. I think I read this quote in an article. I did not make this up, but now no one has been able to find who said this quote. So I won't take credit for it. But now when you look this quote up on Google, because I've said it so much, I'm the person that's attributed to saying this. I did not say this first. But my favorite quote about art and artists is that an artist spends their whole life trying to get back to the place where their heart was first opened up. And it's just so true. You know, Hamilton did that for me. I told you Rent was the show that brought me to the theater at 13 years old, and Hamilton made me feel like that 13-year-old kid again.
Oh, cool. I love that. So what song do you have on repeat on your playlist?
There was one quarantine, I don't know, that I just couldn't get past. It was, you know, Brandy put out that album like in August. You know Brandy? She's, you know, she is. She had a song on her latest album that was called oh, what is it called? I can't remember what it's called, but it's right before, it's like number 6 or number 7. I'll look it up while you ask me. You ask me another question, I'm going to look it up.
Okay. Do you have a pre-show ritual that helps ease any anxiety or nerves?
Yes. What's my pre-show ritual? I really like to, it's called Lucid Dreams. Lucid Dreams. Oh, it's so good. That was my song that was on repeat like I would literally just, while I was cooking or washing the dishes, I would literally just like put that song on repeat. I just loved the place that it put me in. Lucid dreams. My pre-show ritual is usually I like to take it easy. I like to take it easy. You know, warm up my body a little bit, warm up my voice, have some coconut water. If I could have a short, meaningful conversation, because I don't want to talk too much, but like short, meaningful conversation, that also helps me stay present. But I like to take it easy because I want to feel like when they're like, okay, 5 minutes for, the show starts in 5 minutes. When we get that places call, I want to feel like a slingshot. I want to feel like, and go. You know what I mean? So I just like to take it easy. It's like a boxer. I don't want to exert too much energy. I want to save it all for the stage. So it's a little bit meditative, but it's calm. If you come into my dressing room before a show, very, very calm.
Oh, cool. So my last question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
Who do I consider to be a real life superhero and why? My latest real life superhero is Stacey Abrams, because she did something that people have thought was impossible for generations. What she did in Georgia with the turnout of Black and disenfranchised voters. I just love her desire to see something righted, through our civic obligation, our civic duty as American citizens. All she did was register people to vote. And she became the face of that. She took that on for Georgia. That is the odds were stacked against her. So she's my latest superhero.
Oh, cool. Yeah, my latest superhero is I always get confused how they say her name. I can't remember if she pronounces it Kamala or Kamala Harris, but she is like, I was so happy. Like I said, on Saturday, I was like so happy I was crying.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I had the best time talking to you. I still can't believe it's actually happening. So
thank you so much. Wonderful questions. Thank you for listening to me, go on and on and on. I had a ball.
Leslie, so thoughtful and so generous with your time. Thanks, and have an amazing day. We hope we get to talk to you again.
I would love that.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Have a great day.